Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a baby update. This is going to be a big one because it's been a while since I did one. The last one I did was through week 22. In this video, I'm going to go over how I've been feeling weeks 23 through 28, as well as going over the dreaded gestational diabetes results and my story with that. And I'm also going to be doing like a little bit of a healthy snack unboxing slash taste test, because I have this amazing box of snacks at my feet, and there's a story behind why I bought some of these snacks that ties into the gestational diabetes. The snacks are all from a place called Thrive Market, which is the sponsor of today's video, but we will get into that later on in the video. So first of all, I have been feeling really good. Weeks 23 through 28 have been very good weeks for me. I've had pretty high energy, although I have gotten pretty sick twice. I had a sinus infection right before Christmas that required antibiotics. It was like pretty terrible. I was convinced I had COVID. And then I also came down with what I thought was turning into bronchitis. I was convinced it was COVID. Again, I am vaccinated, but like I'm just, every time I get that sick, I'm like, it's COVID, it's for sure. But it wasn't. Luckily, I did get tested and it was negative. I was having these really deep coughs and I was just like, I don't know why I keep getting sick. I guess it's because I'm pregnant and my immune system is suppressed, because I am not normally someone who comes down with these like really strange, like intense illnesses. I've had a sinus infection one other time in my entire life when I was like 19 years old, and I've had bronchitis one other time in my entire life. The night before my wedding is when I was diagnosed with that. That was definitely stress induced. But other than that, I've been feeling really good. My nausea has completely gone away. I would say I only have 2 complaints in this pregnancy, both of them very well worth it. I am not complaining. I'm just telling you like the real tea on how I feel and how this pregnancy is affecting my body. The first one is that my acid reflux is horrible. It was with James too. I was on around the clock maximum strength Zantac with James. It did help, but it did not neutralize the symptoms enough to feel comfortable. And by the end of that pregnancy, I honestly thought that I had like holes developing in my esophagus from all of the like acid regurgitation that was happening. This is so gross, but it was like the worst part of my pregnancy with James, and I knew it was coming. I tried to prepare myself. I prepared my doctor. I was like, in my first pregnancy, this was a really hard thing towards the end of my pregnancy. And so I was taking Pepcid every night before bed, and that stopped doing the trick. About 2 weeks ago, so right at like 27 weeks, I woke up one morning and I had a pain in the middle of my chest, like right here, that was so intense that I literally, my first thought was I'm having a heart attack. I started Googling heart attack symptoms, and I called my dad and he was like, it's not a heart attack, probably. It's probably your acid reflux. And I said, no, it doesn't feel fiery. Like it doesn't feel like it normally does. And he said, yeah, if your acid reflux is that bad, it can cause spasms in your muscles, like in that area. So I ended up talking to my doctor and she put me on a prescription acid blocker, which is an item that makes your stomach not produce as much acid, as opposed to the over-the-counter medications help neutralize the acid that already exists. And that has been working like a dream. I cannot believe that I can feel this much relief from acid reflux this late in my pregnancy. I am in my 3rd trimester now. I wish I had been given this option with James, because it is crazy how much it's working and how much relief it's given me. It's helped me sleep at night, because I was waking up several times a night with reflux that would come up, and it would be so acidic that it would burn my throat and I like wouldn't be able to breathe, and I would be like coughing. And poor Alex, I mean, he's used to it because this happened almost every night in the 3rd trimester with James, because I was not on a medication that was really handling it well. That has taken care of that complaint. My only other complaint is one that I have mentioned, I'm pretty sure, in a update before, and that was just that I'm having a lot of pain right at my C-section incision area. I don't know that it actually has anything to do with the incision, but it's that low down, and I feel like whenever I stand up, I just have a lot of like pressure right there, and it's not even where the bump is, it's actually below the bump. So I have my stomach where the baby's like hanging out, and then it's like really low, and it's it hurts so badly that I like kind of have to support it with my hand for a little while until I'm like up and walking for a while. And then it happens every time I stand up. So I'm going to talk to my doctor about that again at my next appointment. It is something I brought up before, and she said, you know, as long as you're only feeling it when you're standing or walking, that's okay. If you start feeling that kind of pressure even sitting down, that's more of a cause for concern. So I'm not feeling any pain when I'm sitting or laying. It's just when I'm standing. But I am going to bring that back up because it just feels like it's getting worse. I might need like one of those under stomach braces kind of things that you can get, like the wraps that go underneath your stomach. I never ended up using one with James, but I might need one now. It's just so weird to me that it's not my back that's causing the pain. I feel like usually you hear women using that because of back pain, which surprisingly, my back pain has been like very reasonable. Like I haven't really had back pain. I'm having like front low pain, just so strange. Anyway, I haven't had any ultrasounds in this batch of weeks. I am planning on going and getting my 4D ultrasound done probably sometime next week when I'm 30 weeks. They say between 28 and 32 weeks is the sweet spot for those pictures. So 30 weeks is right in the middle of that. That will be 10 weeks since I've seen him, and I am so excited. He moves constantly. He is definitely giving James a run for the money for most movie baby ever. But there is a difference. James was more of a wiggler. He was constantly moving, and I feel like he was moving even in his sleep. Like he was like kicking his little legs and like rubbing his face, and I could just feel his little like elbows and knees and everything. This baby, a couple times a day, has like kung fu workouts in there where I feel like he's beating me up from the inside. Like I'm talking forceful kicks and elbow punches and rolls, and like it's just so different. It feels like a lot stronger and more like focused, whereas James was just like wiggly all the time, like all of the time. And so that's the difference. I definitely feel like when he's in one of those moods, I have to like sit down because it's so much. And sometimes it's shocking how strong a kick is. At my 26-week appointment, I did have to do my 1-hour gestational diabetes screening test. And I was nervous because I did fail the screening test with my pregnancy with James. And if you fail your screening test, you then go on and you have to take the real test, which is a 3-hour long gestational diabetes test. And I remember it being pretty bad with James. I got very sick and I really didn't want to have to do it again. And I had a feeling that I was going to have gestational diabetes this pregnancy. With James, I did not worry about it. I did not feel like I had any reason to think that I would have gestational diabetes. With this one, I have been craving sweets a lot more than I do in my everyday non-pregnant life. I have also felt like I've been peeing more. I know that peeing a lot is normal in pregnancy. I do not remember having to pee this often with James. And maybe I'm just blocking it out, but I do not remember. And then the other thing is I've been craving ice water with a straw around the clock all the time. All three of those things made me think, I wonder if I'm developing diabetes. Now, if you don't know what gestational diabetes is, it's not the same thing as regular diabetes. It has to do with your placenta, and so it is pregnancy only. Like once you give birth, it goes away. Once your placenta is out, it goes away. It has to do with how your placenta is handling your blood sugar. And it can be related to a higher percentage of developing diabetes later in life, but it is by no means like an indicator that you're going to get diabetes later in life. And it can be positive in one pregnancy and not in the other. It's really weird. Like I said, it has to do with the placenta that you've grown for that particular baby. So even though I didn't have it with James, I was worried I would have it this time. And I did fail the screening test again. So the 1-hour screening, I did fail. When I got the results from the 1 hour, they called me the next day with the results and they said, you know, we need to have you come in for the 3-hour. I didn't get my results from the 3-hour for a full week. So for a week there, I was convinced that I had gestational diabetes. I was already making preparations for kind of changing my lifestyle, my diet. I was trying to think of like healthier things I could eat, cutting out processed sugar, etc. And that's hard because when you're pregnant, your cravings sometimes are very intense, and my cravings have been for sweets. and so that's not good if you have gestational diabetes. During that week of waiting, it was time for me to go ahead and pick out items for my next Thrive Market box. Now, Thrive Market is the sponsor of today's video. I have been sponsored by them in a video in the past, and they paid for that box, and then I continued paying for all of the boxes in between that one and this one. So I have been getting them regularly, and I have been paying for them on my own. It was time for me to go ahead and decide what I wanted in my next delivery, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity to try some new low sugar, low carb, maybe keto friendly snacks, so that I could go ahead and prepare myself for if I had to do kind of a drastic diet change. I have my box right here. I'm gonna show you all of the items that I picked out, and then I'm also going to taste test a few of these items, because one thing I feel like when you're ordering snacks online, especially if you're unfamiliar with the brands, I never know if they're gonna be good or not, and they do have a lot of reviews, and I heavily rely on the reviews. I thought taste testing and telling you guys a few of these at least would be fun. Thrive Market is an online membership-based market where you can find organic and wholesome items in tons of categories, including organic groceries, clean beauty, safe supplements, and non-toxic home items. You can easily shop by different diets and values like keto, Whole30, gluten-free, plant-based, and fair trade certified. And you can enjoy member-only prices and even sign up for auto ship, so you'll never run out of your favorite products, and you can save additional money off those items. Orders $49 or more are shipped for free, and everything is delivered with carbon neutral shipping from a zero waste warehouse. They also have a program called Thrive Gives, which gives a low-income family a membership for every paid membership. The first thing I'm gonna try are these Wisps cheese crisps in cheddar, and it has 1 gram of carb per serving, 0 grams of sugar. Kind of looks like a cheddar chip. This is not what I thought it was. So this is 100% real cheese. It's just cheese that's like dried out and put in a crisp. I thought it was more like a chip. Okay, if you like cheese, yeah, those are good. James is gonna love those. I actually picked these out for James. They're organic mango and orange whole fruit gummies. They're like little individual packs, how cute. Oh my gosh, that's heavenly. These are so good. And then the last thing that I'm gonna try are these grain-free cookies, gluten-free, paleo, no added sugar. These are like little chocolate chip cookies. And the reason that I picked these is because, like I said, I've been craving sweets. And so I knew that I needed to get at least one healthy sweets option. Oh my gosh. These are so good. Oh my gosh, these with coffee in the morning. Not that I should be eating cookies with my coffee. If you want to give Thrive Market a try, they are hooking you guys up with a really good offer. You can get 40% off your first order plus a free gift if you shop with my link, which is thrivemarket.com/Elle Fowler. I will have all of the information below, but 40% off your first order plus a free gift is a great deal. There is no reason not to give this a try. There is a 30-day guarantee, so you can cancel your membership if you're not happy with your box. But you will be, because they have so many different options of different things that you can pick out. So thrivemarket.com/Elle Fowler. I will have my link below. Thank you so much, Thrive Market, for sponsoring another video of mine and giving me a chance to try out so many new snacks that I've never tried before. I definitely found some favorites. I kind of want another pack of those mango gummies like right now, but I got them for James, so I will control myself. So my experience with the gestational diabetes screening test, which is the 1-hour test, it's funny because I posted on Instagram that I was having to do it, and a lot of people from other countries were saying that it's not standard in their country. It only is given if you have predetermined like risk factors for it, or if you're showing symptoms for it. And then some people from those same countries were saying, no, that's not true. We all have to do it too. So I don't know. All I know is that in America, I'm pretty sure that if you go to an OBGYN, it's a standard practice. At both of my pregnancies, at 2 different OBGYN offices with 2 different doctors, it is given to everyone between 24 and 28 weeks of pregnancy. Unless you have predetermined risk factors or you're showing symptoms, they will do it much earlier in your pregnancy. So for me, I did it right at 26 weeks at my appointment for the 1 hour. It's really easy. You just go into your appointment. You don't have to fast ahead of time. And as soon as you get there, they give you this drink that you have to finish within 5 minutes. It's about this tall and probably like that fat. I picked the orange flavor, and it basically tastes like a flat orange soda, a full sugar orange soda that's gone flat. That's what I would say it tasted like. It's not horrible. It's not super yummy. It's not a drink you'd ever pick, and it's definitely not a drink you'd want to chug the way that you have to, because you have to finish the whole thing in 5 minutes. But it's not terrible. It's just something that you kind of just have to do. And then after 1 hour, they take your blood and they measure your blood sugar level, and that is going to tell them how your body has processed that amount of sugar. I think it's 50 grams of glucose in that drink, and that determines whether you've passed the screening test. If you fail the screening test, which I have failed with both my pregnancies, then you have to be referred on to do the actual gestational diabetes test that tells you if you have it or not. And that is a 3-hour-long test. You do have to fast ahead of time. I was told 14 hours with no water, no coffee the morning of the test, nothing. That was probably like one of the hardest parts, because when you're pregnant, you're thirsty, you're hungry, like you have cravings. So that was a little bit rough, but you go in fasted. As soon as you get there, they take your blood. So they do a fasting blood sugar level, and then they give you another drink to drink, and you also have to drink that one in 5 minutes. And it is double the amount of sugar. So it's 100 grams of glucose. For my office, the drink was only a little bit bigger than the first drink, but it was like thick, like a syrupy sludge. I mean, imagine a flat orange soda with double the amount of sugar dumped in to it. It was really gross. I guess some women throw it up because it just is so much sugar on an empty stomach, and it doesn't taste good, and it's first thing in the morning. It was 8:30 in the morning for me. You drink the drink, and then you wait, and an hour later they take your blood again, and then an hour later they take your blood again, and then an hour later they take your blood again. So they take your blood 4 times while you're there. Both my arms looked like bruised up, crazy arms by the end of it. But the worst part for me is that with both of my tests, with James and with this baby, I got very, very sick, very dizzy. I had to lay down. It made me feel horrible. Peaking right at the 1 hour mark and then slowly getting better throughout the day. But I mean, it just is like not a pleasant test. And my nurse told me that it's not abnormal for women to react the way I did, just like really not well. But she did give me a Zofran. She let me lay down on one of the exam room beds, like an empty one, turned off the lights, and just came in every hour and took my blood. And then at the 3-hour mark, I was free to go home. I went home. I slept all afternoon. I did not feel well. Yeah, it's not a pleasant test, but it is really important to diagnose gestational diabetes. If you do have it, it can be really dangerous for you and the baby if it's undiagnosed and untreated. And so I am happy to say that I passed it, just like I passed it with James. So I did fail the screening test with both pregnancies, but I did pass the gestational diabetes test with both pregnancies. So I do not have gestational diabetes, and I passed by enough of a percentage that I don't have to be retested. I think sometimes if you pass, but it's like very borderline, they'll have you come back in at like 32 weeks and test again. But I was told that I'm good to go. I'm so relieved. I'm still trying to just be more aware of like just not indulging in as much processed sugar and just like bad foods as I want to, because those are my cravings, like I said, which makes it really difficult. Overall, I feel really thankful that I don't have gestational diabetes, and I am even more grateful and thankful every time I eat like a cookie or something. I'm like, I wouldn't be able to be having this right now if I had had gestational diabetes. So yeah, I'm more aware of it, but I'm definitely still like just craving processed sweets like crazy. I don't know why. That's not normal in my like pre-pregnancy life. And I don't think I craved that with James either. I craved citrus and like pickles. So moving on to the nursery and playroom plans. So I kind of showed you guys what I was thinking about the nursery in my last video. I did a little before nursery tour if you want to see what the room looks like. It looks exactly the same, but the difference is I've ordered a ton of stuff. I've pretty much ordered everything for the room now. I just have to wait for everything to come in. I have to wait for the movers to come and pick up a lot of the things that are in that room. And that kind of ties into the playroom plans. So when we moved into this house, we moved with all of our existing furniture, and the furniture that had been in the living room of our California house, we put in the living room of this house, but it really wasn't a good fit for the size of the room, the spacing. It wasn't the right color or style or anything. So after living with it for like 2 years, I finally picked a new sofa. I got it delivered, and we had the sofa that was down there moved up to our bonus room, because in my mind I was like, I want the bonus room eventually to be a playroom, and I want it to be a place where we can have, you know, a comfy sofa for Alex and I to sit and like watch the boys play and have lots of space for them. The bonus room's a really big room. It's like 20 by 20 feet. And so I thought that's a great space. But when we got that sofa up there, guys, the sofa takes up the whole freaking room. We got it up there and we were like, well, darn it, there's no room for the boys to play. Like, we can't have things in here. We can't have like, you know, toy kitchens and grills and like fun things for them, a ball pit and a slide and stuff. Like, I had all these dreams for the playroom. So after thinking about it, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna sell these pieces. I'm gonna get rid of them. They just don't work for the space. I hate to do that because I love these pieces. And I was telling my mom about it, and she was like, hello, like, I will take them all because I have an empty bonus room that needs furniture, and that furniture would work perfectly in my bonus room. So I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, I will pay for movers to come and get it from you and bring it here. And I was like, yes, please get it off my hands. So she is sending movers. They're going to get here, I think, next week. And they're going to take the sofa, the chair, the console, the Peloton, the Bowflex. And that is going to clear out our playroom and nursery and enable us to like have a clean slate and turn it into what I really want those rooms to be, without feeling guilty about like getting rid of my furniture because my mom is taking it, which feels like not the same thing. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm getting rid of it if my mom is taking it, you know? I don't know. I have like a weird thing about getting rid of furniture. I don't know why. I just really struggle with it. Like, so I'm going to have a complete playroom makeover coming in the next couple of months and a complete nursery makeover. Plus, the goal is to finish James's room before the baby comes, because that poor boy still has a half-done room. And I think it's important to prioritize it just as much as I'm prioritizing the baby's room. I never want James to feel like he is getting less attention because there's a baby coming. Although I will tell you, James has not shown any indication that he has any ill feelings or like reservations about this baby. He is so excited. He talks about baby brother every day. He asks me all sorts of questions about baby brother. He watches videos of him as a baby, like as a newborn, and talks about how baby brother is going to look like that and act like that and lay there like that and suck his babby like that and drink milk like that. I mean, he's so excited about it, and I just really want to make sure that I keep things really equal and make sure that James's life doesn't change drastically because a baby's coming, because I want him to keep a very like stable. He's such a good boy and such a loving and sweet boy. I don't ever want to do anything to like put out his little sweet fire. He's just such a good little thing. It's the very end of January right now. Baby is due beginning of April, so we're definitely going to have February and March. There's going to be a lot of house content. I know you guys enjoy that, so keep a lookout for that. Thank you so much, Thrive Market, again for sponsoring this video, giving me some yummy snacks. Check it out below if you want 40% off your first order plus a free gift. It's a great time to try it. It's the beginning of the year. People have all these goals to like eat healthier and get fit and just better their lives. So it's a good time actually to try like a healthy snack box. They also have like clean household cleaning items and like clean beauty, clean wine. They have so many different things, but check that out. And I will see you guys with my next video. Goodbye.